I'm Doina Carter. I'm the course leader for the MA in Interior Environment Design in the London School of Film, Media and Design at West London University. I'm very pleased to be here, and thank you to everybody at Global Admissions for organizing this. I am by training an architect. I worked in practice and then I moved little by little into academia. But those formative years mean that everything I do in academia is focused around preparing students for life in practice. So basically making theory relevant to practice. So you might want to know why study at the University of West London. Well, if we talk about numbers, our university has been #1 London university for overall student satisfaction for a while. And you can see where this data comes from. It's the top 5 university in the UK for student experience, is the best modern university in London, and our student union, you will become part of that if you join us, is one of the strongest in the UK, frequently voted #1. In terms of qualities, and these qualities are based on what our students tell us. They appreciate, and we have a lot of international students, and we have a local student population which is multicultural and with diverse backgrounds. We are based in Ealing, and Ealing is known as the Queen of the Suburbs, and that is because it's very community focused. It's very green, and again, our students find it very friendly and very safe. Although we are on the west of London, we have excellent public transport, which means that you can be in central London. So probably everybody has heard of Oxford Street. You can be there in 20 minutes. And we have a very rich history and cultural heritage. So Ealing Studios, you might, if you like old movies, a lot of the old movies were made there. Pitzhanger Manor, and we work with some of these. Why study our MA in Interior Environment Design? We are part of a School of Film, Media and Design, which makes us quite unusual. We have an unusual mix of expertise, and that goes into teaching, research, but also technical support. So we have amazing technicians and people who come again from practice and know a lot about what they do, and also very good facilities. And I'll show you some examples later. Of course, we will prepare you with subject-specific knowledge and skills, but that is very much enhanced. So it's not only curriculum-based. We are interested in what our students tell us, and we do as much as we can during your studies, even to change the things we do to make it as profitable, as good as it can be for your own individual needs and future prospects. I believe in situated teaching, so that comes from my life in practice. That means that a lot of the things we do are actually immersive, they're experiential. We have a lot of activities which are external, so we spend a lot of time in studio, in our workshops, but also outside. We have a lot of engagement with the local community. We have a lot of, every semester, we have live projects and excellent links with architectural and design practices and industry. And I'll show you, I'll show you examples later. Everything we do will enhance your employability and skills, and it gives you quite a few career choices. You are awarded an MA, a Master of Arts, and you will be eligible to become a member of the British Institute of Interior Designers if you join our course. This is just a short illustration. I'm not going to go into details, but just to show you how the academic year is structured. You would be studying 60 credits for each semester, so there are 3 semesters. The autumn one, the spring one, and the summer one. During the summer, you complete the final MA project, which can be either a design project or a dissertation. And I also this has a lot of information here, but the only reason I added it here is to show you how it is assessed, because we get this as a question from a lot of students. Most of the work is studio work, design work, so it is assessed through artifacts, portfolios generally. All these are, you can see all of these are core modules. The only written assignment is this one, which is a 20 credits module. Last year, we changed it to become a report. And again, I'll show you what we did for it. The students learned a lot and they enjoyed it. They would have liked it to go on further. The other thing I need to add is that the final project dissertation is it can be either a project, so a design project, or a written dissertation. So that really depends on what you want to do further after you complete the MA. And I'll give you some examples of the projects our students completed. So this is for the first module in the first semester. This was a collaborative exercise where students worked with diverse media, and we made we worked in different facilities in the school. So this was the VFX, the special effects studio. I'll just show you a little bit of this video, because students had to do exactly what they wanted based on a common start. So they built the model together, but then each student did different things with it. The other project we do in semester one is urban agendas, and that's I'm trying to organize live projects with local businesses, or this particular one was with a local museum, art gallery, and that is for our students. I mentioned that a lot of them are international students, or they are not from London, so they don't know the neighborhood very well. This is a very good way for them to start knowing it and actually mapping it. So their knowledge becomes quite in depth. Of course, we have one technical module. Again, this is in semester one. This is when we take the ideas from the project I just showed you. In this case, it was about it was this installation which we did for the Pietzanger Manor, and the students have to detail it to the finest detail, and they need to consider everything from circular economy to sustainability to materials, renewable materials and technologies, and obviously detailing. This is the module I mentioned earlier, that it is assessed through a written assignment. And these particular slides are from the practical exercise we did last year, where we invited engineers and designers from different practices in London to come and talk about light conditions, sound conditions, quality of air, so all environmental conditions. The students measured these, and then they produced a report. You can see on the left-hand side are our collaborator from White Architecture. This is a practice, a Scandinavian practice. They are very much at the forefront of circular economy, and their small office in London is kind enough and very generous with their time working with us. And the projects, the reports the students produce are going to be part of a bigger research bid. This is a design project, is in semester two, is the first big project you students do. And by this time, you can see the complexity of the project is much greater, and the students become much more independent. We are basing our delivery on pre-existing knowledge, but also we start, especially in semester one, in teaching you, topping up the things you might need in terms of knowledge and skills. But our aim is to make you independent thinkers and to encourage you to be critical with yourselves and be able basically to survive in practice, to be able to cope with anything that practice throws at you. And this is an example of the project dissertation. The students by this time, so this is in semester 3, students become quite self-reliant and they drive their project. It's a joy actually to see how these projects developed, and they are very different. They depend on the students' interests, and everybody focuses on the things they want to either to concentrate on during their studies, or something they want to pursue later on in their career. I think that this part will give you a flavor of what we do apart from the academic, pure academic life, because we are a very active externally course. So we go on exhibition visits, we go on study trips, and this is in the City of London. And these are very frequent visits. This was a visit we did to this show, which was Make Veracity, about experimental technology. So this was for the technical module I showed you earlier. These were technologies which are at the moment just very experimental. They are in prototype phase. And it was good for the students to start thinking about not only what's in existence, but also what could happen in the future, because you are the future of our professions. We do a lot of study trips. So I told you that we worked with Pietzanger Manor, which is in Ealing. That was designed by Sir John Soane, and this is his house in central London. So we went to visit it as well to give students the background they needed for their own projects. We try to go to as many industry fairs and exhibitions. So this was the Surface Design Show. And again, the students had a worksheet. They had to go around and identify materials they could use in their own projects. And again, these are very innovative, and some of them are new, some of them are already being used, but the palette of materials is very vast. It's more than we could cover in a lecture, for instance. We go to Clerkenwell Design Week, and that's very much a feature in our calendar. This is a week-long exercise. It occupies a whole area of London. This is almost the capital of design in, I would say, in Europe, if not in the world. There is a vast concentration of architecture, interior design, product design practices, and that gets occupied by all these materials and suppliers, firms. And we visit that, and we also exhibited there for the last couple of years. We go to the London Design Festival. Again, this was our visit, but last year we also exhibited during it some student work. We do design workshops, and this, for instance, is the start of the technical module, which we do with White Architecture at their offices. And I think that for our students, it's really important to see not only that these practices talk about circularity, but the fact that they apply. And the White Architecture office in London has been refurbished only with circularly sourced materials. So they are reused and recycled. And students get to see that, the way it is done, and the way you need to be creative and also quite nimble when it comes to ideas, how to reuse elements which weren't designed, they weren't measured for the project you are actually doing, which is a different way of thinking. We have invited speakers throughout the year, which come from architecture, interior design. We have excellent industry links. They come and talk to our students. We also visit these practices, and these are just a couple of examples from Orms Architects and Gestico and Wiles. We worked with Gestico and Wiles on the Pietzanger Manor because they were the architects responsible for the renovation of it. While Orms were very kind to talk about how they applied the circular economy tenets in their own practice. We have all our reviews have invited speakers, because apart from having the feedback from us academics, it is important that your work is seen by people who are there working now. So you students become aware of what they need to consider to stay relevant and to be current. We also have this extraordinary collaboration with the University of Universities, so our students get the chance to work with international students in groups, mixed groups. This is done online, and they benefit from the knowledge brought by different universities in mostly in Europe, but not only. So we have collaborators from Mexico, from India, and also work with tutors coming from all these universities. It's an extraordinary collaboration, and they're very enriching for everybody. I thought that I would show you some of the examples of the live projects. This was a very small, they're called pub theatres in the UK. They tend to be run either in pubs. This particular one is run in the basement of the Barons Court theater pub, and we worked with them for a redesign, and that was again an extraordinary collaboration. The students learned a lot from it. We try to exhibit as much as possible. So on the left-hand side, you can see the projects the students did for Pitzhanger Manor. We exhibited them in a local community hall, and we invited obviously the clients, and we have people, the public, visiting, and anybody going through that community hall. And it's nice for the students to get a chance to talk about their projects and explain their ideas, because it's one thing doing it in studio. It's completely different talking to the public, who are basically your clients at times. We try to organize as many and as different make workshops. So our profession is about objects, about scale, it's about materials. So students need to understand that they need to come out of this world, which is digital, and try to see how materials feel, how they behave. So you can see examples here of the making of the model I showed you earlier. But these we try to do that regularly with different types of materials. We are interested in students actually experimenting, testing, and making mistakes. That's when you learn much more than making precise models, which tend to be made at the end of a project. So the examples I'm giving you here are for the Clerkenwell project, and they are very much at the experimental phase. We also work with colleagues from other disciplines, so our students get to try different techniques, which they can apply later on in either the big project in semester 2 or their diploma project, so the master project. So this is screen printing, and again, the students have a lot of fun spending a whole day, and subsequently they can go and do things by themselves to try different techniques. These are the facilities we use. So I'm trying to show you sort of described same events, so you get a feel for the same thing. So this was the day we spent in the VFX facilities. So this was their green room, and we were able to take these pictures, which became parts of the student submission. So you can see that everything, we try to do a lot of things which are practical and help students along. Some of these students never made a video before. Some of them had never made a physical model, for instance. So it's something we build slowly. So students are ready for their final projects, the big project in semester 2 and their diploma project. I mentioned the Clerkenwell Design Week earlier. So on one hand, we visit the stands, but we also exhibited the student projects. In this case, this was a project we developed with local practice. So they have their own office in Clerkenwell, and students did their big project in Clerkenwell, and then they exhibited and spoke again to the public. I mentioned a few times exhibitions, so these are a few exhibitions we did. This is the studio in the city. During the summer, we come out of our studio and we try to go and see as many things as possible. And these are some examples of the things we did. And those who manage to pass every module, and that's not unusual, get to go to Wroclaw and build these one-to-one installations, which are live projects. So they are all built for real clients. And that is an extraordinary experience. And I'm showing you only one example. There tend to be about 7 or 10 of these modules, is because our students worked on this one. So this was my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. You can contact me if you have any questions afterwards. Also, I'm on LinkedIn if you want to follow what we are doing. I think that we only have 1 or 2 minutes for questions if you have any questions.
Hi, Ms. Doina. Thank you so much for the presentation about the program. Yeah, I think we only have a couple of minutes left for the questions. So maybe my question would be mainly about the background of students. So do most students coming into this master's program, they already have a background in interior design? Or do you also accept people from other background, maybe from architecture, fine arts, or other education backgrounds?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Thank you. We do accept students from all sorts of backgrounds, and some of the examples of work I gave you. So we had students from games design, for instance. So I'm going to give you examples which are go a bit wider, apart from architecture, interior design, product design, but also game design. So they came with a certain knowledge. But we also had students who came from very different backgrounds. So we had somebody from management, but she was always interested in design. So she was able to go through the course and actually did very well. And another student who worked in estate management, and again she moved into design, and she did very well as well.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. I think another thing that I would want to ask is when I search about University of West London specifically, I think it branded itself as the career university. So how does that translates in terms of like the school helping students with their career preparations after their graduation?
So we have a very well-established support for students. Students get advice on their CV writing techniques and interview techniques, but also the way we create all these links with the profession makes the students very confident. So it seems that our students manage to find work quite quickly. Some of them, for instance, start working while studying because they find the job they want and they were looking for. They are allowed to work for 20 hours a week. I think that it is overall the way the University of West London is put together in the support of students going through the courses, but also when they finish on their last few weeks of learning.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Doina. I think we are, while waiting for the next university, I think we can play the video that you shared with us earlier, so that the students can get to know the program more. Let me share the video.
So this video is of one of our exhibitions, and it was done by one of our technicians while we were setting it up. It's in central London, and it's an excellent venue. It used to be a horse hospital. So just watch out for the detailing. It's all in the basement.
Okay.
Thank you, Nadia.
Sure. Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Doina. I think we're happy to have you here to share the programs at your university.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. I hope that you have a good day, rest of
You
the day.
too. Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.